Well, this is Everyday Life on Morning at NTV, and I must say I am extremely excited to be hosting the gentleman next to me, a very, very familiar face, I guess more familiar than mine. Many of us know him, and I do not know if I should greet him in English or Luganda. Sebo tukwaniriza nnyo ku show yaffe in a morning show. I think even those things
it is huge in Trumpston. Huge,
huge with the fingers.
Yeah. How are you, madam?
I am very well,
How's
Frank.
the show? I see you people in the morning and I'm like, well, guys speak English. I should keep away from them.
So you actually speak English?
I do.
You went to
Sometimes
school?
I try.
The way you're doing your
That's
Trump.
the question. I find people asking me, do you speak English? And I'm like, okay. Have you been watching TV? I've been on NTV for 10 years now.
Yes.
And that's a conversation that sometimes I imagine shouldn't be featuring anymore. But people ask me, do you speak English? I'm like, okay, I still have to answer. Yes, I do speak English.
You do speak English. You went to school?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Frank, I'm so happy to see you and smile, because usually around the newsroom here, I'm going to share some secrets. You usually have a tough persona. You don't smile that much.
Tough.
You
call it focused.
Both.
Focused. Busy all the time.
You really seem to be
putting
the kind of
stories
person
together,
who,
this and that.
Who minds your own business, who, yeah, so you're focused, a focused guy.
Sure.
Well, I'm very happy to have you here. Speaking of Luganda, you are very, very passionate about Luganda.
Yes. What
drives that passion?
Maybe I grew up in a family where we spoke Luganda.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
English was for school. You know, at home, Luganda. And growing up, I was introduced to Luganda language in its broad terms, you know, the literature. And I admired these guys who have written powerful stories, wonderful stories that I've not even seen English writers, you know, penning. Novelists like Ian K. Kawere, I don't know if you know him.
No.
And I was like, wow. So Luganda does not only stop to be a user language at home, but people can do these wonderful things. They can write stories. And I got interest. At school, I actually did literature in Luganda and English. But the difference is, for Luganda, I did not write the UCE exam. But I was quite keen. I kept following what the other guys were, you know, studying. I was up to date. For English, I did the exam. But the passion kept growing and growing and growing. And later, when I delved into the journalism world, I realized I could also use Luganda for, you know, to make a living. And here I am today. I have introduced Luganda to people like you, the corporates. Back then, the Luganda news bulletins were deemed to be bulletins for, you know, old people.
Yes.
Those who've not been to school. But starting 2007, when I came to NTV, people were like, okay, these guys who've been to school, who have a degree in journalism, a master's, can also sit and, you know, present in Luganda. The people were mesmerized and they appreciated. So my passion is still growing every day. I learn new things.
Do you not feel maybe Luganda is limiting? Because you can only go so far with Luganda. You can only go as far as Luero, maybe Nakasongola. You can only go as far as Masaka, maybe Lukaya. You can only go as far as Muvende, Mitiana, you know, as far as Mukono, Jinja. It's very, geographically, it's limiting, you know, outside the borders, unless you go to the UNA conference with Maurice Ochola and Brian Mulondo. Where else will Luganda take you?
We're in the world where creative arts is employing almost half of the employable people. Yeah, creative arts, talk of things like music. Even the news we're doing, the media itself is creative arts. And that alone makes language traverse, you know, beyond borders. Lately you were celebrating, who is the musician? Kenzo. And I can tell you,
oh yeah, City and Laws.
His works have featured everywhere on the globe. You know, but coming back to news specifically, you are aware I don't do Luganda alone.
Yes, I'm aware.
I've done several pieces in in English.
Yes.
I have done some bit of presenting in English. Morris Mugisha can attest.
Yes. We're playing some clips of you there.
Yeah, okay, that's why. Yeah, and I think English and Luganda combined, they are taking me places. Yeah, but I'm not leaving Luganda behind. Much as I've got all these awards and done wonderful stories and that kind of thing, Luganda is still part of me. I move with it.
Okay.
And wherever I go, I tell them, yeah, I speak Luganda. I'm from Uganda. I speak Luganda. Some bit of English. Lately, I'm learning French, and soon Japan. So I'll be good as well. Yeah.
Well, in this day and age, so many people. There is a generation of young people growing up who are not fluent in their mother tongue, who are not fluent in Luganda, who are diluting Luganda. In your words, maybe butchering.
It makes me sad.
Yes, I imagine so. When someone says "jidilitinge," the word, you look for the word to get it forward. They can't think of that Luganda word.
In a cross culture, I don't know, country. I should use that word because Batoro, Bachiga, that kind of thing, and people are so much into English because that's the unifying language now. We speak it so much that when we come back to our first languages, first, because English is not our first, it's second. We use it when we find people who can speak our first languages. We start to mix up things.
Yes.
Yeah, like you were saying, kanji deleting, focusing, and like, okay, we've all been victims of
even you, but you're not even a pure. Maybe I shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
You're not. You say intermarriages and all that have brought into a mix. You're also not fully pure Muganda.
Well, that's true. My mom is not. She's a Michiga woman. But that shouldn't stop me from,
so you're my brother.
Celebrating maybe half.
Do you speak Ruchiga?
I do try.
Hey, Oragambachi.
DJ. Something like that.
I am so tempted to open the phone lines because I'm sure so many of you want to speak to Frank. I was so excited. I kept on telling friends I'm going to interview Frank Walusimbi, and someone told me, "Ugambe, alina abawagizi banji."
Yeah, I appreciate.
So many people who love you.
People have loved me.
Yes.
Yeah. 2007, this young boy, 24 years, and on TV, and we said, "Hey, Bambi, that guy." And they were like, "Nah, you get on go musajja omukulu." I don't know. Maybe I grew up in a family where we were treated like we should be mature people. Yeah. Parents always insisted, "Where you say ngo muntu omukulu all the time." So it stuck in me. Even during conversation, you feel it coming out. So people were like, well, "I like a guy yo mukulu, musajja mukulu." And some were giving me an age. They thought
you're older than you actually
maybe
are.
I was older than what I looked like.
Oh, okay. We actually have a phone call already. I was still talking to Frank, but let's listen to this person on the other line. Good morning. You're live on Morning at NTV. We have lost that person. Good morning. Do we have another caller? Okay, Frank. The way you read news is amazing. You read it like you're telling someone a story. Then sometimes I even wonder, is it scripted? Are you reading from the prompter? You tell me your secret now.
Sometimes I do use prompter, and sometimes I don't. The trick is just something anyone can do.
Really?
It's being part of the news chain.
Is it easier because you do it in Luganda? If we were to give you an English bulletin, do you think
it will be the same?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can we talk to Mr. Morris Mugisha, our boss?
I tell stories. Yeah, I can. By the way, I did not come to NTV as a Luganda anchor. I came as anchor who was going to do anchor in English. It turned out that research showed Luganda was highly consumable. Yeah, people like it. And they're like, okay. We have a team here, you get together, craft something. We came up with a concept of NTV Akaungezi. Myself, Farid and Akazwi, we sat and crafted something. and it has grown. It is big now.
It's huge.
Yeah, huge. If
you
can
go to Palisa, they will put up, even people who don't speak Luganda.
Everywhere on the street.
Even, they try.
Even in the diaspora.
In the diaspora, yeah, they listen to it online.
NTV Akaungezi is a thing. But if you're part of the news chain every day, because people assume we walk in here at 6 p.m. and then put on a suit and walk to the set. No. I'm in office at 8 a.m. I know what reporters are working on. I know what will happen at a given time, and I have this information. Okay,
good morning. You are live on Morning at NTV. Do you have a question or a comment for Frank Walusimbi? Hoima, yes. Okay, please go ahead, yes. Okay, the volume is a bit low, but you like the news and you like Tuaye. Okay, we can hear you better. Okay, thank you. You see, in fact, it's very good. Our first caller is
at one time I thought Tuaye was doing me a disservice because it is younger than NTV Akaungezi. Yeah. But I think more people are at home on Sunday evening than on any other given day.
Yeah.
So, hey, you are the Tuaye guy, and I'm like, oh God, I've done Akaungezi for 10 years.
But they know you for Tuaye.
He knows me for Tuaye or she,
Okay, we have another caller. Good morning. You're live on Morning at NTV. Do you have any question or comment for Frank Walusimbi?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Your name, please?
Yes, my name is... Good morning, NTV.
Don't try to listen to yourself because there's a time delay. Please just go straight ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I would like to know how old is Frank.
He has told you, you calculate. He was 24 in 1990, in 2000 and, when NTV started?
2006.
2006.
When NTV started?
Yes, so you add, NTV is now 10 years.
Okay, sorry.
But I have made my age public.
Okay, tell the gentleman how old you are.
My birthday last year, I wrote a prose, a small story about my birthplace. That's Kilembe Kasese. And those who read the story already know my age. Maybe you can look up for me,
please.
Facebook. You can go to Facebook and read the story again.
Someone is saying they need
you will know the date, year, and place of birth. Recently, I went and picked up my birth certificate. You know, those of us, the millennials. That's
are you a millennial? You're not. You're older than a millennial. The millennials are born in 86 and after.
86 and after. Okay. Yeah. Is it? It's related to the year 2000.
Okay, 2000. You're not a millennial.
Back then, we did not have birth certificates. It's done.
It was a baptism certificate.
And mom goes back home with you.
Good morning. We have a call on the line. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, please. Please go straight ahead with your name, your question or comment for Frank.
I'm Annette calling from Kampala.
Yes, Annette.
I'm grateful to Frank for two things.
Okay.
For his articulated in questioning via Tuaye program.
Okay.
And the way he presents the news, that he's talking to you or he's conversing.
Yes.
And his boldness before the camera. And the time he covered my story with court.
Oh.
He was so good, he never judged me.
Which
he
story?
Looked at me with pity.
Which story was that?
Was some political stuff.
Okay.
However, I would love to have an interview with me. So that you get to know what happened.
On the bench?
On the bench, sir.
Please, just come over to NTV and we have a chat. Why not?
I will, but thank you for being Walusimbi.
My pleasure.
And we love you.
Thank you.
Wow. Now, Frank...
Tuaye, I think for the first time, you hear people saying he does news like he's conversing. I love to be a journalist when I was in P4. P3 thereabout. There's a man who inspired me. I don't know if you ever got to know him. Venancio Senoge was a presenter on Radio Uganda. Later he moved on to CBS. He passed on some 3-4 years back, I think. And I like the way he did things. And I was like, one day when I get to the media, I will just deconstruct this thing of singing news. Why do you sing news? So I was like, no, tell the story. When I'm on the set, I am thinking about that special person in my life. I am telling them a story. My mom.
I beg your pardon? You're thinking about,
a special person. I'm telling a story to my mom. She doesn't want me to sing the story. She wants to hear the story word by word. So tell them a nice story, converse it. Yeah? And I think people appreciate that. You're talking to them. You're not like, yeah, I'm the guy this way, and you should take in what I say the way I say some anchors.
Yeah, the thing is, some anchors can even have attitude, and you can see it.
I know.
Okay, let's talk about, we have a call on the line. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, please go ahead with your name and question or comment for Frank.
Joy is my name. I want to appreciate Mr. Walusimbi. You are all in all. Those are the words I could use.
Huge.
With love, the professional, and natural. May God bless you in everything you do.
Bless you too, Mom.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Professional, natural, those are great words. Recently, I think last year, you did a docu-series on child sacrifice. Tell us the background to that from Eastern Uganda.
Buyikwe, Busia. Yeah, it hurts me, Mebo, seeing innocent children, being killed over superstition. It's very bad. And for me, there is nothing much I can do apart from using my voice. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is getting to the height. Cases were becoming several in the south, parts of Rakai, Ruengo. There were so many. I was like, okay, let's give this a voice. I suggested the idea to the assignment editor, and I went and I was able to put together some pieces. They're very hurting. You listen to these stories and like, who does that in this 21st century? Who still thinks that human blood can bring wealth? And I think our country needs prayer. Seriously, we need to pray a lot, because some of these things, you can have a police post here, there, but these are things that are within people's, souls. That's what they think. It should take supernatural powers to deconstruct such myth and superstition. But people remember maybe Buyikwe and these recent ones, but I really loved doing a series about Somalia. I think many people still remember Inside Somalia. There was no journalist that had ever covered Somalia to that extent. I gave the AMISOM endeavor or mission altogether in Somalia. I gave it a face in Uganda, and the gentleman in the UPDF can attest to that. So
you were not scared? You'd step on a landmine or a bomb or anything, a grenade?
Of course, anything can happen. It's a war zone. But I was like, the
story needs to be told.
These great men and women should have a face. By that time, people were saying so much about that mission. Some of them were myths, others were, falsehoods, all kinds of things. But I went 2010. That's the first time I went to Somalia, and I love those series. I don't think I've executed anything better than that.
You also have a radio show.
Political.
A political radio show. I don't know if you take sides on that radio show.
No, it's still...
Do you mind telling us where it is? Or what channel, what time?
That's the Impact FM.
Impact.
Yeah.
On Saturday?
Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
What's the frequency?
98.4.
98.4 Saturday morning.
It's one of those top FMs. Christian based.
Okay.
Yeah. The proprietor is a friend of mine.
Okay. Yeah,
Dr. Sarada. People know him. So it's like, hey, come and do this. I was like, why not? Why sit at home on a Saturday when there is the opportunity here? But I like it. I really love to hear people airing out their views. People come angry. And say, hey, but and then somebody, now I've said it, I am okay. I see them walk away happy.
Okay. Can we take one last caller? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mabel.
Yes.
My name is Biaranga.
Yes, Mr. Karuhanga?
Biaranga.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also a journalist by profession.
Yes.
But I like how Walusimbi articulates his words when he's anchoring the Luganda teams.
Yes.
In fact, one time I made a move and I came to NTV. And actually, I talked to him and I was really amazed. I don't know if he remembers, but I approached him and I talked to him one-on-one.
I wish I could.
But he really loved it and I was really happy. I don't know if he remembers. It was way back in 2014.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Karuhanga. I'm sure Frank has met many people.
Yeah, and it's always good talking to these people in the supermarket, on the street, everywhere.
Do you find it easy to go shopping, supermarkets?
I do. I do. And
nyanya, you know, do they even give you nyongeza?
Yeah, they say, hey, Walusimbi, I have to.
So I should come shopping with you.
Not really. But people get surprised. They think, you know, we are this special, but we're not. Being on TV, I'm like anyone else.
I have to say this phrase. We were having a chat on our morning show group once, and someone said, in the words of I think there's a disagreement somewhere, and someone said, in the words of Frank Walusimbi, Gasia Bulolo.
That's I don't know. It's a statement that comes from far.
But
I found it. People used it so much, especially the old ones. I think it comes from the mid 20th century. I imagine. I'm not sure, but many people used to say that when they are disgusted or when they are not happy about something.
And I wish I could say that to the director who is signing me out. But
I don't think he'll like it.
He won't like it, and I'm not saying it, but Frank, the phone is buzzing. I can hear it.
Okay.
And I'm sure so many people do have lots of questions for you. Please, if you can find time in your busy schedule.
And show up again.
And show, do that thing again for
and
the
speak
Trump.
English for
huge.
15 minutes.
Can you say it?
It's huge,
Speak.
Huge.
Frank has spoken English for 15 minutes.
The guys don't have trouble. He's getting sued back and front, everywhere.
Who even thought that Frank could do a Trump impersonation? I mean, really. And that's what this morning show is about, bringing you the different sides of people. Frank, it's been an absolute pleasure. Professional, natural are the words people have used to describe you.
Thank
Indeed.
you.
Go ahead. And
thank you, Uganda. Thank you, everyone.
Remember us when you're up there.
For having me.
Remember the morning show. Remember.
I am living in my future already.
If
you're my age and you still think the future will come, then you have a problem.
It's
you
now.
are in the future
You're
already.
in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to end it there. Morning at 10 TV will continue with sport right after.